bought a Hyundai, maybe it was the value, the warranty, the sleek design, or just the reputation for reliability that sealed the deal. And honestly, Hyundai has come a long way. These cars are genuinely well-engineered machines. But here is the thing that nobody at the dealership told you, and that most owners never find out until it is too late. There are 7 factory default settings baked right into your Hyundai that, over time, are doing real, measurable damage to your engine and drivetrain. We are not talking about fringe conspiracy theories or things that only matter if you drive 100,000 miles a month. We are talking about documented wear patterns, known engineering trade-offs, and behaviors that Hyundai engineers themselves built in for cost and efficiency reasons that do not always align with the long-term health of your specific vehicle in your specific driving conditions. Some of these settings exist because they work fine for the average driver doing average things. But if you care about getting the most life out of your engine, maximizing your resale value, and avoiding expensive repairs down the road, then you need to know what these settings are, why they are harmful, and exactly what you should do instead. So let us get into it. These are the 7 default Hyundai settings that are quietly destroying your engine and what you need to change right now. Setting number 1. The default oil change interval is set way too long for real-world driving. The first problem starts before you ever change a single setting on the dashboard. It starts with what Hyundai recommends in the owner's manual as a standard oil change interval. Many modern Hyundai models, particularly those equipped with the Theta 2 GDI engine or turbocharged 4-cylinder variants, ship with an oil life monitoring system and a recommended interval that can stretch to 7,500 or even 10,000 miles under what they call normal driving conditions. Here is the problem. What Hyundai calls normal driving is not what most people actually do. Their definition of normal involves long, steady highway cruises at moderate speeds with minimal stop-and-go traffic. What most drivers actually experience every single day, short commutes, city traffic, cold starts, frequent idling, and temperature extremes, is classified by Hyundai's own manual as severe service. And under severe service conditions, the recommended interval drops significantly. The consequence of following the default interval in real-world driving is oil that degrades faster than the monitor accounts for. Degraded oil means increased friction, higher operating temperatures, accelerated wear on bearings and cylinder walls, and in the worst cases with certain Hyundai GDI engines, sludge buildup that has been linked to premature engine failure. There are class action lawsuits and TSBs, technical service bulletins, specifically addressing this issue on certain model years. What you should do is treat your Hyundai as though your driving qualifies as severe service, because for most people, it does. Change your oil every 5,000 miles, or every 6 months, whichever comes first. If you are using conventional oil, consider moving to a full synthetic, which holds up significantly better under the thermal and mechanical stress of everyday driving. Do not let the oil life monitor be your only guide. It is a rough estimate, not a precision instrument. Setting number 2. Auto start-stop is enabled by default, and it is wearing out your starter and battery faster than you think. Walk up to almost any modern Hyundai built in the last several years, start it up, and pull to a red light. The engine shuts off. The moment you release the brake, it fires back up. This is the auto start-stop system, and it comes enabled by default on a wide range of Hyundai models, including the Elantra, Sonata, Tucson, and Santa Fe. The official purpose is fuel economy and emissions reduction, and in a controlled test environment, it works. But in the real world, what this system does is dramatically increase the number of engine start cycles your car experiences over its lifetime. A traditional car engine might start once per journey. With auto start-stop active in city traffic, your engine could be cycling off and on dozens of times in a single commute. Your starter motor and ring gear were not designed for this frequency. Even though Hyundai upgrades these components in vehicles equipped with the system, they are still wear items, and they wear faster the more they are used. Your 12-volt battery also takes an enormous amount of stress from the repeated deep cycling required to restart the engine quickly. What you typically see in vehicles with heavily used auto start-stop is premature battery failure, sometimes within 2 to 3 years instead of the typical 4 to 6. And when that battery starts going weak, the system's restarts become harder on every connected component. Beyond mechanical wear, there is also the issue of oil film. When your engine shuts off, the oil pressure drops to 0. The thin film of oil protecting your cylinder walls, bearings, and camshafts begins to drain back into the sump. When the engine restarts a few seconds later, there is a brief, but real moment of metal-on-metal contact before oil pressure fully rebuilds. Do that dozens of times a day, hundreds of times a month, and the cumulative wear is genuinely significant. You can disable this feature every time you start the car by pressing the A-off button on the center console. On some models, you can configure it to default to off. If your Hyundai does not have a permanent disable option in the settings menu, there are aftermarket modules that remember your preference and turn it off automatically at every startup. The fuel savings this feature provides are marginal in real-world driving. The wear it prevents by disabling it is not. Setting number 3. The default transmission shift programming prioritizes economy over longevity. Modern Hyundai transmissions, whether you have the 6-speed automatic, the 8-speed, or the dual-clutch unit found in certain sportier trims, are tuned from the factory to shift into higher gears as early as possible and to hunt for the tallest, most fuel-efficient gear available at any given moment. This is how the marketing team gets the impressive EPA fuel economy, numbers they put on the window sticker. The problem is that this shift logic forces your transmission to lug the engine at low RPM more than is healthy, particularly in stop-and-go traffic where the transmission is constantly deciding between gears as your speed changes unpredictably. Lugging creates heat. Heat degrades transmission fluid. Degraded fluid means accelerated wear on clutch packs and solenoids. On dual-clutch units specifically, which are already more sensitive to heat and improper use than a conventional automatic, the default aggressive economy tuning can shorten service life considerably if your driving style involves a lot of urban traffic. Additionally, the default normal driving mode uses a throttle map that creates a slightly disconnected feeling between your input and the engine's response, which in turn causes many drivers to press the accelerator further than they need to in order to get the car to respond, which creates additional heat and stress in the drivetrain. What you should do is use sport mode more deliberately, not because it is more fun, although it is, but because the more responsive throttle mapping means the transmission stays in the correct gear for your actual speed and load more consistently. You should also check your transmission fluid on a defined schedule, regardless of whether Hyundai tells you it is a sealed-for-life unit. No transmission fluid lasts the life of the car. Get it inspected and changed at least every 60,000 miles. This one service alone has saved countless transmissions from premature failure. Setting number 4. The default tire. Pressure warning threshold is set too low. Hyundai's tire pressure monitoring system, the TPMS, does not alert you the moment your tire pressure drops below optimal. It alerts you when pressure drops to approximately 25% below the recommended level, which is the federal minimum threshold required by law. That means your light will not come on until your tires are running noticeably underinflated, not just slightly low. Why does this matter for your engine? Because underinflated tires create significantly higher rolling resistance. Higher rolling resistance forces the engine to work harder to maintain speed. The engine running under sustained additional load burns more fuel, operates at higher temperatures, and experiences more wear per mile than it would with properly inflated tires. The effect compounds over time, and many drivers go months operating on tires that are 5 to 10 psi below optimal. Not enough to trigger the TPMS warning, but plenty enough to affect performance, efficiency, and wear. The solution here is simple but requires breaking a passive habit. Do not rely on the TPMS warning as your tire pressure management system. Check your tire pressure manually with a quality gauge every month and every time the seasons change significantly, because temperature swings cause meaningful pressure fluctuations. Set your tires to the pressure listed on the door jamb sticker, not the maximum listed on the tire sidewall. This one habit protects your tires, your fuel economy, and yes, your engine from unnecessary wear. Setting number 5, GDI direct injection carbon buildup, is a factory design consequence you must actively manage. This one is not a setting you can toggle in a menu, but it is a factory design default in the sense that Hyundai chose to equip a large portion of their lineup with gasoline direct injection, or GDI, engines. And the consequence of that design is something every Hyundai owner needs to understand and actively counter. In a traditional port-injected engine, fuel is sprayed into the intake manifold and onto the intake valves before entering the combustion chamber. The detergents in gasoline wash over the intake valves with every intake stroke, keeping them clean. In a GDI engine, fuel is injected directly into the combustion chamber, bypassing the intake valves entirely. This means the intake valves never get that detergent bath. Oil vapors and combustion blow-by gases recirculating through the PCV system deposit carbon on the backs of the intake valves continuously, with nothing to clean it off. Over time, and we are typically talking 40,000 to 80,000 miles depending on driving conditions and oil change frequency, this carbon buildup restricts airflow into the cylinders, reduces combustion efficiency, can cause rough idle, misfires, reduced power, and hard starts. Cleaning it requires either a walnut blasting service where crushed walnut shells are blasted through the intake to physically remove the deposits, or a chemical induction cleaning service. Both require disassembly and professional service. Neither is cheap. What you should do is use a quality top-tier gasoline consistently, as these fuels contain higher concentrations of detergent additives that help keep the combustion chamber itself cleaner, which indirectly reduces some deposit formation. Consider using a GDI-specific fuel system cleaner through the intake system every 30,000 miles, and schedule a professional intake valve cleaning inspection around the 60,000-mile mark. If you catch buildup early and address it, you avoid the power loss and potential engine damage that comes from neglect. Setting number 6. The default engine break-in period is almost never followed, because Hyundai does not tell you about it properly. Hyundai builds this instruction into the owner's manual in language so understated that most buyers gloss right over it. The first 600 miles of a new Hyundai's life are what engineers call the break-in period, and how you treat the engine during this time has a permanent effect on its long-term health and performance. During break-in, the microscopic surfaces of the engine's internal components, the cylinder walls, piston rings, bearing surfaces, and valve seats, are still seating against each other. The controlled wear during this period is necessary and intentional. It is how these components achieve their final, proper fit. The problem is that the default assumption baked into how Hyundai communicates this to buyers is that modern engines do not really need careful break-in, that you can drive them normally right from the start. This is only partially true. What you should absolutely not do in the first 600 to 1,000 miles is hold the engine at a constant RPM for extended periods, run it at full throttle or high RPM, tow anything, or let it idle excessively while cold. Vary your engine speed, keep revs moderate but not completely low, and avoid hard acceleration. Change the oil at the 1,000-mile mark even if it feels unnecessary, because the metal particles shed during the break-in process contaminate the factory-fill oil, and you want that oil out of your engine before it can circulate and cause abrasion. If you bought your Hyundai used, the ship may have sailed already. But if you are taking delivery of a new one, or if you know someone who is, this window of behavior has a measurable and permanent impact on how smoothly and how long that engine will run. Setting number 7. The default coolant flush interval will let your cooling system degrade. Before you notice, the cooling system is the unsung hero of your engine's longevity. It keeps operating temperatures in the precise range where combustion is most efficient, where metal expansion is controlled, and where oil maintains proper viscosity. When the cooling system starts to degrade, everything else suffers, and it happens slowly enough that most drivers never connect the symptoms to the root cause. Hyundai's factory coolant, typically a blue or pink long-life formula, comes with a recommended service interval that can stretch to 60,000 miles for the first change and 30,000 miles thereafter. In reality, coolant degradation is not just about mileage. Time matters just as much. Coolant left in the system for more than 5 years, regardless of mileage, has typically exhausted its corrosion inhibitors and pH buffers. When those additives are gone, the coolant becomes mildly acidic and begins attacking the aluminum components in your engine and cooling system from the inside. Water pump impellers corrode, radiator fins deteriorate, head gasket surfaces suffer. The other overlooked issue is that Hyundai's cooling system, like all modern engines, contains a mix of aluminum, iron, rubber, and plastic components that all react differently to coolant chemistry. Using the wrong type of coolant or topping off with an incompatible formula can cause galvanic corrosion that the factory coolant was specifically formulated to prevent. Always use Hyundai's specified coolant type and never mix formulas. What you should do is flush and replace your coolant every 3 years or 36,000 miles, whichever comes first, regardless of what the system looks like visually. Clear coolant is not necessarily healthy coolant. A proper flush removes the degraded fluid, suspended corrosion particles, and replaces the protective additive package that keeps your entire cooling system safe. This one service, done consistently, is one of the highest return maintenance investments you can make in the long-term health of your Hyundai's engine. The bottom line. So there you have it, 7 default settings and factory behaviors that are quietly working against your engine every single day your Hyundai is on the road. None of these are reasons to regret your purchase. Hyundai makes genuinely excellent vehicles, but they are reasons to be an informed, proactive owner rather than a passive one. The difference between a Hyundai that makes it to 200,000 miles with minimal drama and one that starts having expensive problems at 80,000 is almost always maintenance behavior in the first few years of ownership. The decisions you make now, the intervals you respect, the settings you change, and the habits you build are the things that determine which side of that line your car ends up on. If this video helped you, share it with anyone you know who drives a Hyundai. Subscribe if you want more content like this. And drop a comment below telling me which of these 7 you were already doing right and which one surprised you the most. I read every comment, and the conversation in this community is genuinely one of the best parts of making these videos. Take care of your car, and it will take care of you.